Hello everyone, welcome once again to the bird language series that I'm putting together for you. The story I'd like to share with you today is, blackbird's just alarmed. The story I'd like to share with you today is about a wren. I was over in Hollington in a woodland. It's about 2 hours from here, visiting a friend of mine. He lives in a woodland over there, and on arrival you park up outside the gate, and you can't get in because I don't have the key to get in, so kind of hopped over the gate, and I'm walking along the track towards his campsite, and there was a wren kicking off. And wrens here can be quite loud and quite aggressive in holding their territory, and they'll move around you, and they'll let it be known that they're not happy to have you around. So of course I naturally thought that Jenny Wren here is kicking off because I'm walking down the trail. But as I pass the wren, I've gone about another 50 feet or so, and he's still going, he's still kicking off, and I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, what's that about? Because he should have started, the alarm should have started to subside by now. But he was still quite aggressive, and he was low down in the bracken and what have you. So I decided to backtrack. So I walked along down the trail nice and slowly and nice and steady to see if I could locate him. And he was literally, let's see, about 10 feet in front of me, and he was alarming really loud, okay, what's going on there? But then just beyond him, I'd say about another 5 or 6 feet just beyond him, there was a bunch of high ferns and bracken and what have you. There was something moving around in there, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. And then this ear appeared, and all I saw was just an ear, and it was a black ear. And I thought, oh, what's that? I've no idea what that is. And then next thing I know, it took off through the undergrowth, and I'm listening to its gait as it's moving off, and thinking to myself, I don't recognise that. It doesn't sound familiar to me. So I kind of dismissed it as, a dog from the village or something. Anyway, the wren settled down, and I thought, okay, well, I'll crack on. So off I went. I decided to just kind of walk around the woods because my friend wasn't there, and it'd be another hour or so before he turned up. So I just went for a bimble around the woods, really, and at one point I needed to kind of pay a call to nature. So as I'm moving off the trail into the undergrowth, I had this real sense that I was being watched. And, just kind of take my word for this. The image I got was a big cat looking at me. So I turned round and I'm checking, and I'm looking through the trees and in the undergrowth, and I can't see anything. Then suddenly, having said the blackbird alarm just a minute ago, there was a blackbird alarm. Now, the interesting thing about this blackbird was he was quite high up, and when he took off, he shot straight up in the air, didn't do a dip or anything like that like they normally do, and his alarm sounded quite different to how I'm used to hearing it. So that kind of piqued my interest. Oh, what's that about? And I'm looking around, and I still don't see anything. So I kind of, after things settled down a bit, that nature got back to its base rhythm, did what I needed to do and carried on walking around, hoping to see a few adders and what have you, because the area we're in was good for adders. And then eventually I made it to my mate's campsite, and he turned up, and we sat there that evening having a meal, just kind of sharing stories and what have you. And suddenly he pipes up and says, oh, Jeff, by the way, got to tell you, fantastic sighting the other day. I seen a black cat, big black cat, dragging a deer off into the bush. And I'm like, what? He says, yeah, we've got a black cat around here. And I'm like, really? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, crikey, I think I've just seen it. Because at that point, I then managed to put 2 and 2 together and came up with 4 instead of 5. I said, I was actually close to it today. I saw it was not 10, 20 feet away from me. So I shared that story, what I've just shared with you, and of course it would have been lovely to have seen the whole animal itself, but I feel quite happy within myself that it was a black cat. I had the sense that there was something around there, and of course he then reinforced that by telling me and sharing his story with me. So that was a really nice experience, and I live in hope of seeing one day in the UK, so that would be really nice. So that's another bird story there for you. The Jenny Wren kicking off and the blackbird alarming, and there was that sense of some other presence around. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And I've got quite a few more stories I'd like to share with you as time goes on, so I'll do little videos from time to time and share them with you. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it and look forward to the next video, but in the meantime, stay safe.